Hello and welcome back to the Pot County Strongman Competition. I'm your host, where I am He Chest. Our first competition today will be the Pot County Truck Pull. Our online spectators speculate that this truck weighs north of 25,000 pounds simply because a flatbed has been added. The accurate weight is still unknown. Let's meet Chad, who peaked in high school. Get out of here, Seabass, I don't need you. Let's push this truck, baby. Yeah. 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 Time. Had to push so hard that'd make your babies be born naked. Welcome back to the puddins.fab.shop. And we are gonna try to shift our Loadstar over. Just a little more working room up front. We're gonna need it. Watch my fanny. All right, I like that workroom. We are gonna be back on the front. Last week, if you did not see it, we actually added some airbags up on this unit. Kind of got a pretty cool setup going there. We got torsion bars, we got airbags, we got it all, baby. It's the patent pending tour bag airtion bar system. So we fit a lot in a little area, and we're going to be challenged with that again in this video because up there we need to fit a lot with the little area. Radiators, intercoolers, condensers, oh my. Our mission, soldiers, is to make that crap work. First thing we're going to do is get the old butterfly split hood out the way. And anytime you remove parts like this, guys, I always recommend you kind of outline your hardware and your hinge. It'll help you get it lined back up easier. Next, let's see how many of these we're going to strip. Yeah. Free dirt deposit right on the head. Oh, Wilma wants to play dirty this morning, huh? Before we take the rest off, we need a tape measure and we need some parts. Up first, weighing in at only like 5 pounds or something, we've got the radiator. Right here, guys, we got the cold case, in your face, aluminum taste, just plain. She is for a early 90s Dodge Cummins. Y'all know I'm not really a diesel guy, so I don't remember specific years, 91 to 93. I think we can make it fit. Up next, we've got the Amazon special. She is the E3 USA intercooler. I don't know diddly about that stuff. Corey Wheat Customs recommended that one. It's one he's used on several of his builds. Shout out to them. Right. Now, you ever try to cut tape with a dull object? And this is not the condenser for this, but this is for old Roy. So we can use it for some general measurements for the condenser. Oh yeah, y'all can see why it's gonna be a challenge fit all this crap, huh? And last but not least, do not forget, we actually don't have any mounts up front yet neither. So somewhere, after we figure out where to put all this, we need to mount that front clip to the chassis as well. Top of the cap to the bottom of the radiator, I'm gonna say we need 23.5. But tank to tank, we need right at 22. And then width-wise, looks like we're right at 30.5. We probably need a little bit of clearance, so 30 3/4. Now over here, we've got some challenges. We've got a crossbar. Not that couldn't be rebuilt, but we've also got our hood just barely above that. But if you look down in here, this is more what I'm concerned about. Steering box, idler arm thingy mabobber. 27 3/4. We needed 30 3/4. We're only 3 inches too narrow so far. Solid start. Let's go for height from the top of this gearbox, which is our tallest point. Looks like 22.5, maybe 22, depending on how far we go that away or that away. Just under 22, that may work. Woo, check this out too. So that actually kicks up. So that's gonna pick us up some additional clearance. And this is our highest point, but it being kicked off to the side is gonna help us as well. Or hurt us. That's its two options. 3-inch thick. We definitely shouldn't carry items over here where we can measure them faster. That makes no sense. All right, so I think it will fit other than these main supports that hold our grill, whatever this says, go up and ultimately help hold our hood because they hold the grill that holds the hood. This is just too narrow. Top to top, 21 by 4 inches by 7. This thing's gonna have to tuck way down in there, just as low as we can get it below all that stuff. Especially because we got to figure out how to get piping to it at some point too. And we got plenty. So I think as long as we tuck it down low, we'll get it to fit. And then as far as our condenser goes, main thing we need is to know the thickness, which it basically looks like we need to account for 1 additional inch. And this is going to end up in front of this. And if there's enough room for this to fit, then there'll be enough room for that to fit. And as far as the mounts go, we don't even want to worry about those too much. Because where we'd want to put them for the mounts to be easy are going to be right in the way. So we want to get the components in there and then build mounts. I think before we take all this apart that we should probably start with that. Can y'all hear that wind whipping? Golly. Ow. I think that edge was sharper than that dull razor. Let's get my airline out the way. And it looks like we got one of our crossover brake lines. I was wanting to reuse some of these brake lines, but there's so many pins and stuff. I ain't decided if we're going to or not. This one appears to be probably right in our way. A little left shove on that out the way. Golly. All right. Theo can't believe how well it fits. See that rusty lip? That's what's sitting on. And look where that little cross member is. Fits beautiful. The only thing is, looks like we may rub that with our boot. See when that's straight up. So we may have to cut that rusty lip off that it's sitting on, where she can drop down another 3/8 of an inch or so. We might get plumb buck nasty, go 1/2 inch. Boy, whoever sent out that knee saver, I appreciate it. Oh, check that out. That's the perfect width to get us back to that other edge. Apparently we've got a broke wire in the booty of our grinder. It'll happen when you've cut 1,000,000 miles with yours like we have. Just do a little modification up in the situation. Good as new. Kind of knock the sharp off that. That's what we needed gone. And now, ling long ding dong, she can drop down through there. Now originally I was wanting to mount it off of the sheet metal side. The problem is this stuff's just so thin, and this ain't the heaviest thing ever, but I do think over time hitting bumps and stuff, that wouldn't be good. Look through my scrap cabinet, found this little piece of tubing, don't even remember what I had it for. She's near the perfect length to go across there between our frame rails. 6 1/2, 6 1/8, 6 3/8, 6 13/16. All right, with that centered up, now how do we want to build some tabs? Well, as suspected, those are the metrics. Look through more of our scrap, found this. I took that out of Slick's trash can because I didn't have any tiny tubing. Perfect. So I think we're gonna aim to put this on top of that, so we'll need to sleeve that. The problem is we're hitting over here on our gearbox, so we do need some clearance there. We'll box her back with some 3/4 inch wide. Heretofore, overachiever. Weld it. Tack, tack, better check it. Oh yeah, no more rubbing the gearbox. That's what I like to say. She's notched. Verify center. And we're gonna kind of put that into position and mark where center is on our 2 holes, these bungs. Mark your bungie. Mark your bung hole. That's right, you wanna try me? I'm gonna put a piece of angle iron on this and then rotate it till we're right at that edge. Then we're gonna call that up and down. And we're gonna mark it. That way we get the same up and down reference thingy-mabobber. Then we'll trust the old eagle eye to just look down there and look up there and put us a couple new marks. Hey Puddin', why don't you ever use that drill press? Me setting up the drill press off camera. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Stop! Golly, I said stop. Shouldn't have to tell you once or twice. 3 times, that's it. One man's scrap is another man's treasure. Oh, it's close. I knew that was gonna be a tight fit. Let's get old Big Bertha on the case. Big Bertha. I mean, she just needs a frog hair. I'm gonna stick that up past that tube in about a 1/16, just a hair. Let's throw us a tack on her, and we better check it. Ah, it's so close, but it is a little off. Dang it. It was off such a small amount. I went tap, 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 tap. Either way, they're starting. Just a couple little tappy taps. Sometimes you gotta make your life hell and just decide you're gonna TIG weld something. Hot! That's hot! Careful where you grab. Every once in a while I like to remind myself why I don't TIG weld. Ew, gotta keep me on my toes. Frame prep. All right, we gotta square it up to the best of our ability, which is kind of hard because our body's not mounted. There's a good chance fenders shifted a little bit. So we try to square off this. We can try to square off things on the frame. A lot of stuff up here on the frame is not symmetrical. It's done differently because our steering, and that's why I don't like doing stuff to the chassis side, because there's a good chance we get this looking good on here, but when all the metal gets stripped off to paint the frame, this could look a little crooked, and it just bugs me. Now I know that's rarely gonna happen, because once we put the truck together, it's never gonna be bare butt again. So I'm trying to convince myself it will be okay. We'll go one fat tack on one side to lock us in. 5 3/8, 5 1/4. That was off our sway bar. But up here, we're matching. And that's what I'm talking about. So all I can do is split differences and get it to where I'm just happy with it. And right now, we're in that spot. Do a little shimming, trying to get this grill to run parallel with those fins. Then I measured off our sway bar to the center of that tube, got 5 1/2. That's what I'm getting over here as well. So we should be pretty stinking close. Weld it. We'll lock those babies in. This one will have to wait to weld the back side until that gearbox is pulled off. Well, we're hung, boys. First time ever, because it's my first time to ever mount an intercooler. What were y'all thinking? Golly, can't take y'all nowhere. Oh yeah, she's crooked all right. I can tell just standing here looking at it. A little bit'll be all right. No one's ever gonna see it anyhow. I just won't be able to sleep the next 3 weeks. It'll be fine. Now the good thing about this is nice and strong. This is gonna have no problem supporting this. So down low, we don't really need strength. We just need to stop the wiggle like that. So I got to look underneath there and looky right there. Found us some different metric bolts to try here. Maybe. Oh, that's her. So it looks like we can just cut as a strap to go from there to there. Two of them will add plenty of stabilization. 6 3/8 center to center. So we didn't do as bad as I thought, because I measured the other side and I'm getting 6 7/16 over there. So within a 1/16 of what I'm eyeballing on our other side. So we will mark over 6, and I'm just gonna go a hair past the 3/8. And that's where we're gonna do both of them. Big hole, little hole. They are different size. Good news. She fit both sides, so I whipped us up another one. Bad news. This bung ain't wanting to let me start a bolt. Good news. I think I found a tap proper size. Better news. It gives me a reason to spray my looby doobie. Bad news, I got us a shorter bolt, but it's different thread, so these aren't the right ones for that. Good news, I checked that before I ran that up there and retapped it. Seems to be going better with the proper size tap. That's strange. Woo, like butter. Now we need a little jog just because of the height difference. Not a lot, just a little. And it should be about right. And don't y'all mind my custom bolts, because I don't have the best metric hardware selection, but how's that fit, huh? Not bad for a little eagle eye action. With that side done, we've got 4 points mounted. This baby should be solid. Golly. Luckily the Loadstars had massive front ends, so we have plenty of room for a radiator. We have plenty of room for a intercooler, condenser, mount a house coil behind this thing if you need to. It'll fit. Kind of slap her in where we can see. I think all that stuff's gonna end up getting painted black, guys, because if not, it's kind of goofy being able to look through and see that, in my humble opinion. But a little black paint on everything make it look better. All right, we got an intercooler. That's gonna keep the air cool on that damn turbocharged 12 valve Cummins for when I'm hot shotting 45,000 pound to the Odessa, Texas and back. Should put down leaves 1,200 horse and 2,800 foot-pounds of torque. Automotive science. It's science about automotive. Welcome back to Automotive Science. I'm your host, Professor Puddin. Today's subject class is build theory. We will hypothesize and theorize the best and most efficient way to do a build. First, I'd like to thank you all for attending. To start, does anyone in the class know what a build is? You.
When you work on cars?
Incorrect. Minus 11 points. You're now making a B in my class. You see, a will it run is working on automotive specimens. Slight modifications such as lowering is working on automotive specimens. And even general maintenance is working on an automotive specimen. But no, a build is much different. A build is much more complicated. Field trip. We can use our International Loadstar build as example. The chassis of that build is a 2008 Chevy 4x4 from a 3500. The body, 1963 International Loadstar. The drivetrain, a 5.9 Cummins from a Dodge with an NV 5600 6-speed manual transmission. Yes.
Speaking of which, when can we start it?
After the build is complete during final assembly, we will start it, like Professor Puddin has always done. You see, we must first fabricate and then mock up all essential components.
Then we can start it?
No, because we're still in step 1.
So can we start today?
No, we stick to the PBP, the proven build process. Step 1, fabricate and mock up essential components. Step 2, disassemble, prep, paint, reassemble. Step 3, final hookup and function check. These steps of the PBP are scientifically proven to work.
So is that a maybe?
Maybe what?
Maybe we can start it?
Starting the engine is step 3. We are still on step 1. Why would we not finish step 1, skip step 2, and just go to step 3?
I want to hear it run.
Young lady, we are currently grinding, cutting, and welding all around sealed components of the engine. Why would we unseal components, temporarily run fuel lines, to then continue fabricating around the engine? Nothing is currently hooked up to make it run, so why would we temporarily hook it up to make it run, have to undo it to go back to step 1? We stick to the steps.
But I want to hear it run.
Yeah, this ain't a will it run. Automotive science, it's science about automotive. Whew. Get your get gone degreaser by the sweet potato. So we got some marking out to do. From this edge that away, I need at least safely 2 more inches, I'd say. Whew, that old grease and dirt's been on there for decades. So I think we're gonna reach the cutoff wheel up in here, and we're gonna cut that in that edge if possible, saving as much material on this. However, if you look down there, there's some brackets tied to that, and I think some of that's gonna have to come out as well. Trying to picture it, guys, I just can't picture it. We gotta come from here back 1 inch, mark it straight up and down, and cut this whole thing off. I mean, in theory, we could take this whole panel out, but I don't want to. I like this being here, so whatever we're gonna add, the more material we leave, the more of a chance there is to kind of like bend it over here and reattach it or something. And it may be easier to just cut it straight up and down right here, and then just weld a new piece over to that, down that. Come on now, think. What's the plan, Stan? If, a very small if chance, if we cut that right up there past that bracket and then over at an angle into that corner and cut the rest off, that bracket down in there is notched out in a way where it looks like the radiator may kind of tuck up in that area. New plan. Cut, and then as long as we can get it detached from that inside bracket in there, this whole chunk should come out. Get our temporary brace out. Oh, this thing's probably gonna be a mess to get it all back together. Grille looking good in there. Maybe not, we'll see. We gotta keep some strength in this though, guys, because these fenders are heavy and they're wide. I mean, they plumb hang out there. They've got big old supports underneath here to help support all that weight. Of course, all that's always hooked up into these corners, and we're just hacking these corners away. So we're gonna have to build back with all that tied together for strength and rigidity. Luckily, a lot of that stuff's in a hard to reach area. It's like someone channeled the body down past the chassis quite a bit or something. Oh yeah, only thing that's got us now is that bracket down in there. I'm going in, Captain. Hey, something happened. Oh yes, I cut the piece off that is not holding us to the rest of it. Perfect. Where it was still connected, I didn't figure there could be more than 1 or 2 spot welds, and we can use our friend leverage. Boom, and break that. All right, now we've got that whole chunk out of there, and we cut it enough that I think this will clear our radiator. What I'm thinking is we could almost just turn a piece 90 back to this, drop a lip off of that. We can trim this down, being sure to touch that when we go 90. As long as we get all that tied back together, that should be nice and strong. Beats the heck out of trying to cut up that piece like we were about to. And it beats the heck out of fully unbolting that crap from the fender, because all of it becomes a huge mess. At least with all that bolted together, stuff should pretty well stay. Should. use the same technique, and that just works beautiful for us. Next, we need to be able to slip that old radiator in here. So we're gonna take this top part off. Guys, we keep doing this, there ain't gonna be much of a front end left. And one bolt in the front. Oh, looks like we even just got one in the rear. Only thing that was holding that on was a hope and prayer. She gone. Dang, I've never seen no wheel nut strip down this far. We may not have a lot holding her, but what we do have, we want to be tight. Now, I'm not convinced we're gonna drop down in because of them brackets hanging down in there. Right there, we are about 31 3/4, which I think was the goal-ish. It's pretty impressive considering I eyeballed this side and then matched this side to that side with no measuring. Hell, what can I say? When you're good, you're good. Let's just try to snatch this thing up and try it. We'll see where it leaves us. We got these brackets hanging off. Now those don't have to stay, but where they're at, I think they're gonna be in the way. But then these, I don't really know how this radiator is supposed to mount. Maybe that just kind of slides down into something. That's a stop. Those are pinned, I don't know. First plop and drop. Okay. Looks like we did pretty good from what I can see. So if we were to weld something in, looks like we may start to hit right there. These could obviously be used to mount, so we don't want to cut those off if we don't have to. So I think the better solution would be to cut this corner off at an angle, and then down there we just go straight back, clearing all that. We do need picked up a hair though, because I am sitting down on there. We are able to go further that way than I was anticipating, so I thought that was going to be our high point, and as you can see, we're clearing it. That looks a lot better than our intercooler does. Well, I'm about half tempted to take that thingy, cut right over there by that weld and try to line that up, because something about it's throwing me off and I ain't liking it. But this is sitting down in there pretty good for a first test fit. Drop that, we clear. Woo! Look at that though. Oh man, we really can't drop any lower than that. I have faith. We're touching good over here. Now the hood as a whole kind of needs shifted back, but this shouldn't even be that low. If it was on the hinges, it'd be picked up a hair. Oh buddy, that baby is just kissing that radiator cap. We better loosen that one piece we did and get everything shifted back. And technically, we need to come up at least 1/4 inch. Whoo! It's gonna be close, guys. I threw us a bolt and a couple things in an attempt to make it half accurate. Did a better job of getting our radiator kind of where I want it. And this side is latched. I got us some poster board to perform the does it clear test. Holy cow. Did y'all see that slide right in? Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, guys. I mean, that thing can't be any taller. Small chance those could kiss each other once in a blue moon. I mean, if the poster board's thicker too, obviously, than a thin sheet of paper. So if it's going through there, clearing's clearing. And the good news is, I had to put that roller underneath that petcock to kind of hover that. Radiator's sitting fairly level where it's at, so it's pretty close to where it needs to be. It looks like it's gonna work. I mean, guys, I knew this thing was gonna work the whole time. And y'all know here at Puddins.fab.shop, we do it nice because we do it twice. So I really did cut that, and it automatically just went to a good spot. And if you think about it, the bottom being square, the top, it pretty well went to where it wanted to be. And I think it looks better. It is kind of doing a Michael Jackson lane, guys. But if we come any further forward, it's gonna start rubbing the bottom down there. We can't really go back because of our steering box. We could have offset some tabs, but you can't go too far back because there's a piece of cross member right behind it too. So now that looks way better aesthetically. A minute ago when I split all the difference, it was up close on it, those tiny gaps. The problem was I never stood up and looked at it really. I come over here, got everything in place and just welded. Standing here right now, seeing how it runs parallel to the sway bar to that cross member, stuff like that. Looks way more gooder. I've got one nearsighted and one far-sighted eye, so you can trust me. That bracket that's on the inside, we gotta take just a hair off. Because as you can see, now we're pretty close to 90 there. I'll have to take just a hair more. Mark down 1 inch, over 1 inch. Most underrated tool in a fab shop. I can't squeeze my grinder in there any further. That flops too much for a sawzall. Any type of saw, that's gonna be hard to get to. And no more we gotta take off. I've been able to run that carbide right up and down and trim it. Then we gotta be able to weld it, so we need to clean it. Now we're ready to go. And that's what I was hoping for right there. I sure was hoping it was gonna be 4 inches. It might be a hair short, but we got sheet metal here, folks, so she'll do what we tell her to. And let's go 16. And y'all already know why I was hoping for 4 inches. Just because I'm used to seeing that number. Guys, there's a lot of 4-inch metal around here, once again. Anyhow, 4 inch, right here, 1/8 inch thick. I know I said 16 1/4, but we could just go 16 and get both pieces out of this one piece of scrap. Looks like it's meant to be. No, that ain't even 1/8 inch. That's like 16 gauge or 4. This is from plating in the back. It's still thicker than 18 gauge, fairly thick stuff. 4 inch wide. I'm not gonna argue with destiny, guys. It's meant to be, it's meant to be, dang it. So far, I ain't mad at this for just firing from the hip, baby. That's how Western cowboys walk. Woo-hoo! Wow, wow, wow. Woo-hoo! Wow, wow, wow. Draw! The internet judges me. I don't need you doing it too, okay? Tacked in, just touching in there, perfect. And we already know this piece is 16 inches. Next, some of our 2 inch wide. This is 1/8 inch thick. We'll cut it to length and then round 2 corners. Boy, I'm curious. Have I convinced any of y'all out there to go buy this 2 inch, 1 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch? I think in the last year or two, I've just proved how much time you can save having this stuff on hand. I'm just curious. You can go spend $400 or $500 at the metal yard and just save you so much time. Now, if you wanted to reuse those, you could. Obviously, we're just gonna build our own new ones. I put a grill right up here because we got a hole and a hole. So that's this one here and this one here. They're both slotted, perfect. So we actually do not want to drill those. One, that one's so low we can't anyhow, so don't worry about it. Two, we don't want to drill that for a big old hole. Let me line that up at the top. May even end up drilling. Anyways, okay, let's go. A hole right there and one right here. This is working out better than I kind of thought it was going to so far. Better not speak up too much yet. We're not done. But that obviously gets us a lip. She's ready to weld. Nice, beautiful fit over there. Plenty of area to figure out adding either a nut sert or drilling a hole all the way through, whatever. Down there, we could drill a new hole in that and then nut sert it into this. Tack it. Getting this side fit up, and guys, it's a It's a little more difficult. I did get it straight underneath there, but maybe you can see that's so all this stuff must be pushing that away too far. Grille's kind of tweaked on this side, or the shell, I mean. It's almost like someone hit that front grill with the forks of their skid steer one time or something. Just a guess. We could weld that. We could let that pop pass, let it go flat and slip past and blah, blah, blah. I think we need to try to line it up all as best as possible. So to do that, we need to get tension off of that. To get tension off of that, we need those pieces to go that way. Oh, you want to play difficult, huh? Just remember, what you can't do, a big pry bar can. Did you see that technique? Use that little bit of belly fat to hold them locking pliers, to twist that, shove this, shove that. She's lined out a lot better than what she was. Now we'll be able to loosen these and kind of shove some stuff around and fit this up. The good news is I drilled the exact same holes on this one as over there, and we hit it. So lining out some of that's gonna be picking up some and shoving down and this and that. For today, guys, we've got about as far as I can get. I've ran out of time. We've got a trunk or treat thing this afternoon, but I'm not upset with our progress. We are really, really close to being ready to drop that old radiator machine down in here. Oh yeah, she's looking good. Theo doggy. All right, guys. Fresh new morning, feeling good. Let's get Theodore pet down. We'll see if we can get that old radiator snuck into our hidey hole we built yesterday. Bet dog. Now, before we do that, look in here. That's nice and straight and consistent. What about this side? Yeah, about that. So I notice if I shove the bottom out, top goes in. If I get the top out, bottom goes in. Let's put that there. Try to clamp it. I'm thinking that's supposed to just spin like that. Hey, my name's Puddin' and I've never worked a nut or bolt before. I'm new to this. Yeah, that's 100% stripped. Perfect. That's what we're going for. Turn that to a Pot County bolt. She ain't got no teeth. I don't need you inspecting all of my work, Theo. That clamp, that center's kind of pushed up. Hoping smacking down will help relieve some of that. Much better. They match. Now, speaking of relief, y'all see how that grille's bowed? Check, make sure we're still fitting since we're kind of flexing on it. Really good gappage over here. Y'all see that one? Nice and consistent. And over here, not as consistent. The top could go over a hair and the bottom needs to go that way a hair. And if we flip it, both sides look bad. Yeah. Old Slick Fetty's taught me anything over the years. It's just hit it with a hammer. Hit it with a hammer, success. Looks a lot better. Let's hit this earlier. You gonna hold that side for me? So after aligning that, I released those and let it go where it wanted to go naturally. And sure enough, this bottom kind of shot over this way. The top went that way. But we still look like crap. What the heck, over? I think a little more proper body work and we'll get it. Just checked it and I think it's close enough for us to move forward. All this stuff's kind of rickety and it also is going to depend on this mounting it, so we get everything perfect now and we may have to change it gappage wise. Boy, that damn brake line about on my last nerve. We're gonna have to replace that one. I done nicked it with the Sawzall. I'm about to cut it out of there completely. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Golly. Brake line, never heard of her. Right now I'm eyeballing our gappage, trying to split the difference. About right in there. Piece of 1/2-inch plate. Piece of 1/2-inch plate. That centers us up pretty good. I might play a lot of games and smack a grill with a hammer, slap it on the ground for custom body work. But when it comes to this type of stuff, the centering it up, well, I take it serious. So I've been doing the shimmy and the shape, just about had it perfect. That side needed to go up like an 1/8 inch. And other than that, it was perfect. And as soon as I hit that super sweet spot, it fell right out of place. So our 1/2-inch plate here, I'm thickening up the ends with some tape and just hoping that little bit of extra is gonna wedge everything just enough where it don't fall out of place again, because this sucks. All right, she's shoved into place with thicker plate. Oh, thick mama now. And my measurements I'm going for at first is right there, aiming, I don't know, about right in there. 3 3/8 will be fine. And we gotta get that side matching, but we can't because over there we're hitting the bolts. So we'll take this side to 3 1/2 because that's what that side is. So if we get 3 1/2 there, now it's starting to do a lean, so we gotta get the bottom kicked out, and you can see why this could be difficult. Top's looking good. I got wadded up poster board between the bottom tank and the gearbox to create a little clearance there. This side is an 1/8 inch low. The last time when I made it to this spot and picked up on this, that's when everything hit its perfect area and just plumb fell apart. Picked that up and shoved a wadded up rag. Uh-oh, you need to go potty? All right, don't you go nuke a deuce where anyone walks, okay? Well, I measured, and I shimmied until I got her just right. She's perfect. Well, I say that. Can that thing even sit on there? That sure looks high, don't it? Oh no, we good. We good. Guys, this is picked up higher, but it's also further back than what we had it during the mock-up. I don't know what to do. Can't mock everything up again because I may hit that radiator, knock it out of place, and then I'm gonna cry. Oh yeah, it's quite a bit higher because last time I think that petcock is what was holding it up. Now that's completely clearing. About 1.5 inches. I think before I wrote 1.25 inches, but surely I wasn't going off of there, right? Lord, please let it work. We're gonna go for it. Now mount wise, I think we're gonna just swoop something up underneath here, turn 90, where we can drill a hole right there down through that. So that's about, looks like we need 1.5 inches, and we'll need 1.5 inches that away. And I think just for strength and simplicity, we're gonna do some 1/4 inch. And we're actually gonna drop it on the other side of that lip, kind of like where we got that. It'll make it really easy to weld it up out there and everything. So for that, I say 6.5. Now call me lazy or call me smart, but I remembered I had some 1 inch wide, 1/4 inch thick. So I'm gonna go with that. So we're gonna mark at the 6.5 and then at 8. I'll flap my booty and call me a silly pickle. You may have noticed I just scored that one. I didn't cut all the way through. So we can bend it 90 hopefully and it not break. Oh, that's a little crooked, so I guess we need it to break. Golly, oh, crooked cut, who did that? Where did you get bubble wrap from and why are you playing with it? You like trash? You old trash dog. You like me, you just like digging in trash and junk, huh? It's not a toy, goofball. Finish breaking that cleaner up on the belt sander. Put a nice little weld on her. Easy peasy. Think that, flip it or reverse it. She'll hold a radiator. To be able to install this, we need a see-through here. Mark us a place for a hole. Oh, come on, those are never tight in radiators when you get them. Just this one in the radiator, we really don't need to move right now. We'll be sure to use the proper tool, that'll definitely help. Oh, it just moved. Dang it. It's all right, it just moved front to back. Even better, those are stripped. Perfect. That's what we're really hoping for, you know? Maybe we can get super lucky and really move it when trying to drill this hole. Now put that in center. So on this piece, we want to draw a line in the center. And we drop that behind there, pick her up, and we can look for our line. All right, I'm just having to clamp, shimmy, do whatever it takes to kind of get this where I want it. Well, she took some finagling, but I got it. Our line's right in the center of our hole. We're clamped up top. Shove that pokey thing in there to wedge that over where it's all touching. Measurement good. Measurement good. Don't mind me. A couple little left taps never hurt. I don't know why the radiator cap won't seal. Well, I knew it was gonna be close, guys. But she just don't quite pass the paper test. Now that being said, am I gonna drop it down? Probably not. It latches and it's just barely kissing each other. And actually I take that back. I think it would be fine. Now we have to take this all apart once no matter what to weld everything up. And looky here, on the bottom of this, where this little pin sticks through, there's a lip and it's welded. And that's holding us up. Eagle Eye says about 3/30 seconds. So when we take all this apart to weld it up, we can either cut that off and just kind of shift our hole over this way, or we can leave these and trim our metal bracket down where it don't catch that. Either way, I bet we get that little bit of drop, she's gonna be just perfect. So for now, we're happy with that. We got pretty good room. I'm actually hoping we can fit a factory mechanical fan in there. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Up front, plenty of room for that radiator or condenser to sit in front of the radiator. And I like this lip hanging out that I left there. I had in mind that we can then weld brackets off of it or bolt off of this as well to get out to our condenser. So this will make for easy install on that. There should be plenty of strength once welded out. So now we just need to look it down low. Now down here, we either got these we can use as like a guide pin, I guess. Or we got these lips that are welded on at different angles. Nice. We could bolt to. We've got a good probably 3/8 of an inch of clearance between our gearbox and that, so that's good. Our piece of poster board I had there, I brought it out and wedged it in here because that's the next angle we want to set. Is kind of how that runs up and down. And then we'll figure out how to build these lower mounts. That's a pretty good consistent gap. Overall, she looks pretty good. So looking down here, y'all know I wasn't the happiest with this piece of tubing. That being said, I can live with it. However, we can't weld off of it. If we make anything else weld off of it, I'm gonna absolutely hate it. So we either need to weld on tabs that we can bolt to, but they can't pivot, so it'd have to be at least a 2-bolt tab on each side or face this way. Or we can measure that center to center again and build a piece that bolts on with these 2 bolts. Sandwiches to it. Huh?
Welcome to Puddins Fabrication Station. Be advised, you may see some metal on metal violence.
1 inch wide, 1/4 inch thick. Dang, sir, poops a lot. You need to go for another round? Have a good doo-doo. Perfect fit. Now we can build off of this to this, huh? So to the bottom of that weld on the pin, I see 4 9/16. So we need to cut it about 4 5/16. And we're gonna cut some of this, come up out here, and when we turn across the top, because that's offset back, we'll use some 2 inch wide across the top where we get an offset lip back that away, and that'll allow us hit them pins. Think this is my first rodeo, huh? You thought I was gonna forget that we intend to drop that additional almost an 1/8 inch, didn't you? So we'll go 4 and a hair past 3/16. 1 hair past the 3/16, very accurate. Guys, we could have all the fancy tools in the world. I know we've got the lift and the bigger building and blah, blah, blah. You can see, for doing a project like what we're doing right now, making this stuff fit, you need a welder, not even a big one. You need a grinder, but most importantly, you need the motivation to do it. I still love laying on this old concrete building crap. There's nothing in the world I would rather be doing. All right, cut us piece to 2 inch, even rounded our corners quite fancy. Same length as our bottom piece. Hold on, that ain't matching. I was holding it crooked or something. This one's leaning a hair. This must be shifted a little offset versus this or something, because one of my marks look pretty good. We can offset them an 1/8 inch or so though. Should be able to get them where they're right at 1 inch. Sometimes it's just a game. You gotta play, guys. I like to call a game find the sweet spot. 1 1/4, and I can't tell. I think 1 1/4 will work. Well, we were doing pretty good till someone missed their holes there. Little drill bit Waller, and she's ready to weld. Boom, and once again, we've got another place to be able to mount off of for the condenser possibly. I don't think, maybe, who knows, who knows. Gonna have just a little play, just a hair, but as soon as we get it to drop down that much where that weld hits where that hole is, it's gonna be just fine. Alrighty, just for funsies, I set our condenser that we have on hand here. It does sit on that bracket quite nice, and with all those holes, that'd be easy to do. Now, as far as our lines go, it looks like we'd almost have to create hard lines that bend down and then go underneath. There is a little room between there, but coming through that part we've already boxed in and built would be tricky. Actually, what would make it a whole lot easier would be having a condenser where the lines could shoot out the top or the bottom. The bottom would work really good for us. I don't know if they make such a thing, but I ain't gonna worry about it because we're not gonna pause what we're doing. We're not gonna redo what we've done because it's all working. And I do think we could make this work if we absolutely had to. Overall, I'm really liking how that looks. Seems to fit well, looks well thought out. Looks like a genius designed it. Trying to salvage our 1/8 inch MPT. I think that's what most are. Feels like we're cutting now. Getting started was a little tricky. Right there is the big booger. Big old piece. That was caught up in them threads. I didn't want to let the tap come out. This thing's trash. Ooh. Kobe! All right. I just smoked that thing straight into the scrap. R.I.P. Kobe. I don't keep up with basketball, but you won't ever catch me saying LeBron. I don't watch, okay? But I've seen clips. I don't think there's a bigger baby in sports. Well, for now, we're going to thread in that 1/8 inch plug. I think we saved it. Oh, that didn't sound good. Was the grill leaning on it or what? Oh yeah. Sunshine, warm weather, no wind blowing. Feels good to be back. I come out here to go grab some lunch about 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, and Theo had been out here. I found him in the back of this thing laying here on the box, just sunbathing. Come here. Come on. Oh yeah, that's the sweet spot, ain't it? You love a cardboard box. You're funny. You're funny. You found you a good spot right there, huh? All right, first time seeing it with the door open here. I'm gonna start trying to figure out where we put our mounts at. That's why I wanted to get out here where we could kind of look. Now to me, of course the truck could be sitting uneven on the concrete, so we gotta be careful there. But it looks like to me that side of the fender's kind of sagging down, like it needs to come up a hair perhaps. So the thing to do here would be try to find out somewhere where we could reference measure to. Well, that's kind of hard to do. Hopefully the top of the frames are the same. I did cut the bottoms the same as well, but we know the top is definitely the same. Oh yeah, he got comfy and closed them eyes. He's about knocked down an afternoon nap. So if we go right along that, hit the frame, go to the top of that, 15 and 15/16. 15 and 13/16. So if we pick this up just a hair, an 1/8 inch, those numbers would match. That does look like it's sagging more than an 1/8 inch to me, but again, we've got uneven concrete right here. This is actually not a very good spot. So I probably want to find at least one other point to reference off of as well. Get a little double verification in the situation. Great time to clean up a little bit of our mess, and this side was sagging, so I picked up on it, and I started by putting a piece of 1/2 inch stock underneath there, and then something gave as I went to pick it up and put this 1/4 inch piece underneath here. It just got way easier to pick up. Something over here was in a little bit of a bind. Is way behind his wheel to make a deal. Now I'm going off the front of our control arm mount to that edge. I see 16 1/4 to 16 5/16, and I think we're going to be close. It looks good. Whew. 16 1/4 to 16 5/16. There we go. Picked up on this just a hair more. Gonna get them both hitting the 16 5/16 perfectly. All right. Now the only bad news is when I back up, that piece is clearly running bigger, or it looks like it's running uphill. This looks down here versus this over here. So I pulled our shims out, let everything settle down. It actually got within 3/16 of each side with nothing shimming it. And that side was reading 16 inch. Now this side was reading like 15 7/8, 15, 13, 16 right in there. So I barely picked up on it. There's a pretty big gap in there. So that just barely fits and touches, you can see. And that picks it up just enough where I'm getting 16 on each side. The problem is that still looks majorly uphill. Now, if I do remember correctly, we can go look on Big Orange down there. These Loadstar front ends right on a center point. So right there, 28 9/16, maybe 5/8. That's twisted though, it needs to be twisted down. 28 1/2. This one's twisted down a little more than what this one is. So that looks like it's running uphill, but the measurements are the same. So if that's running uphill, then that one has to be running uphill as well. Now with anything magnetic, you want to make sure to get your metal chunks off there. They'll be throwing off your readings. I'm just saying 0.30 is not a lot. So that thing's within 0.3 degrees down through there. Now it's kind of wavy, but still, I mean, that's respectable. Oh, that piece is bowed. It's a curve. Oh, I think what's throwing off my eyeballs this. I got a bolt in this side, but looky there. So this looks kind of flat, and I think that's what's throwing off my eyeball. Because I think if we loosen that and we tighten that down, twisted it down, we're going to hit our 28 1/2 to match, and it's going to fix some of that. So this is at a slight more angle than the bottom piece is. Oh yeah, this can be the fun stuff to figure out, but it's necessary, guys. Right now, with the other stuff being mounted, now we want to do what we got to do to get that grill looking good in there, and then get our other measurements where we're happy before we build some mounts. So in this factory Loadstar, it's going to be hard for y'all to see, but right there in between the radiator, that's the head of a bolt. And that whole core support sits on that. I mean, for crying out loud, this thing's missing its thing, but you can see the gappage ain't really the greatest. Of course, it's been hit. But what I'm getting at here is that truck in there being a 63 for 50 years of its life, that core support's been able to favor this way or that way. So whichever way it starts to settle some, all that metal, as it bounces and bounces and bounces, it tweaks itself to favor one side or the other. I mean, I just find it hard to believe it's going to stay perfect. Now, it may not be a ton, but it's enough that once you take fenders off and stuff like we've done, and stuff kind of relaxes, then you go to put it back together and you're like, oh man, what happened to our gaps? That's what happened. Looking at this one, we're rubbing really tight up in the corner, all the way down pretty tight, a little looser down there. And then over here, we've got a much bigger gap up here, about 1/4 inch, and we're rubbing down there. Now the challenge is to get our grill where we're happy with it. Dun, dun, dun. Can he do it? Stay tuned, find out. Start with tweaking our top piece, and we got pretty good consistency over here. I do want to pick up on that, so I got to mark because it looks like we need to grind a little off this opening. And then we added a bolt right in here, so we need a notch out for it. With our notches, this can sit flush. And I decided we're gonna start in this top right corner. This gap's still inconsistent. I still think it's a tweaked grill and the piece I'd hit with the, I meant someone hit with a skid steer. Down here we had a massive gap though, and picking up on that, got rid of some of that. This side's nice and consistent. This one ain't terrible now. A lot better than it was. The bottom I'm not so worried about. A bumper's gonna go up there. That'll help distract from all that. So then that just kind of leaves us that top one, which ain't looking terrible. Maybe we can loosen on this and shove up on this side. I don't know if there's any give in this. Oh, that helped. I knew I had to do something because look, I had this as tight as could be. When I got to prying on that, this relaxed some too. So now that's lining up a lot better. I mean, right there, I'd say, shoot, even that's runnable. I ain't mad at that. Way better than it was. Way more gooder. Knowing our grill placement's good, let's look at actually figuring out our mounts now. I did have to jack up this side just a hair. Got our angle finder underneath there, reading 0 degrees. I think we're gonna aim to put a mount in this area, so I moved our blocks over here to barely pick up on this side. Problem was, as I picked up this side, the whole thing was just going up. So that side was increasing too. May I interest you on some Pot County body work? Hooked our ratchet strap down to the chassis, hooked that up here where we could pull down. Now, I ain't got a ton of tension on this thing, but she's tight. And I pulled down on it till we got our measurements matching again. What I didn't know was, well, I'd set our angle finder here and we start off at 30 degrees. So as I did those adjustments, I wasn't even looking at that. But then when I got my measurements happy, I looked, and look guys, 0 degrees. That front end's looking great. So now we just need to figure out how to put these mounts down in there. Y'all seen me use these before. Old Billy had these left over from his rat rod project. He brought them out to me. And you do an 1¼ inch hole saw where that can drop down in there. You set that down in. You got a washer that goes on top. Boop. That comes up from the bottom. You got a washer that goes on bottom. And you bolt that sucker together. These are a great mount. The problem with using these are like they kind of, you got to have a way to kick off where you can be able to make this little polyurethane and washer sandwich. Now where we tied all that sheet metal together in that corner, that's going to be the strong point on it. So let me play around with this thing and see if I can't figure something out here. I ain't got a full plan, but I got a little bit of a plan, and if you were guessing that it involves fabrication, well, you're accurate. Shocker. More measuring, cutting, welding. All right, guys, our mount is 2.5 inch. Got a piece of 1/4 inch thick scrap right here. Marked it out for a 2.5 inch square. Them sparks were hitting my britches, warming me up down below. That sounded not how I wanted it to. It was making my leg warm. So put in hot pants. That's old put in hot britches. 2.5 inch square, 2.5 inch circle. Fits perfect. Mark center. Now, I may not be a huge drill press fan, but I will say for hole sawing, that sucker sure is nice. Especially since I have a hard time hitting the center or whatever I'm trying to drill in that thing. With the hole saw, I can drill the pilot by hand and then use the pilot of the hole saw to make sure everything's lined up good. Don't you know it's hip to be square? Slap that sandwich together, and we got to elevate off the frame because we got to fit a nut on the bottom side too. So we got to be kind of up in there-ish. And the 2.5 inch looks wider than the top of our frame. So whatever pieces drop down to our frame, we're going to have to taper them. We don't have to, but if you got a frame this width and then the flange you sit on is wider, it just looks silly. We'll have to do a taper. We have to. Oh, you want to try me? Come on. B tried to get me. Where were you? Well, shit the bed, Fred. I just noticed something. If you look down, this is almost to the center of our frame. From that edge over 5.5 inches. But if you look over here, the edge of our frame comes way over there. But it is 5.5 inches. So I know what you're thinking. Well, Puddin', you got the front end on there crooked. No. So this ain't the best way, but earlier I hooked right there on the frame and looked, and we're touching that edge right at 13.5. And I forgot to show y'all that, but if you come hook over here and check this side, it is 13.5. That was my thought, though, that something has to be crooked, so let's find something else to check. If all else fails, guys, measure. So there's a hole in the center of that cross member of the chassis. And if we measure it to that corner, 34 15/16. If I pull real tight, 7/8. And over here, 34 15/16. Oh, she's side to side within a 1/16. So that just means those front frame rails have to be that much different. What's tricky is, though, if you look at them, they look very similar. So we know we're centered, and that's really all that matters. It's just whatever we build on that side, it's not going to be exactly the same for this side if we go in that location. Or any location for that fact, if the frame rail's that much different. Just guessing on some numbers. We went 2.5 wide. Taper down to 2 inch wide, 1/4 inch taper down each side, 2 inches in length. The idea being we can set that on the frame. We just need to do another one for the front. Little mock-up action. And boy, it's hard to see, guys, but I'm trying to measure from the top of the frame to the bottom of that plate. 2 13/16 is the best I can see. I got the sun right in my eyes, so I can see real good. Miss 90 just a hair. That's better. So we set that there, create a little bit of a gap. Having to pick it up maybe an 1/8 inch, maybe, to get it level. I don't know about you girls, but I can weld an 1/8 inch gap. Trying to find y'all an angle where it don't look like heaven's opening up down there. It's so bright and shiny. Setting that 1/4 inch plate there just to create a spacer off of that. I did trim a little off the back side so this side don't have to pick up so much. Woo! Perfect! I had that about 0.6, and as those welds cooled down, as suspected, they shrunk, picked it back, put that baby dead nuts on 0. Well, she's tacked into place, and so is this side. Now we've got a place we can set our mount. We can build off of here down to there. Shoo boo 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 boo. Shoo boo boo boo. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. I've been busy all week, guys, even in the evenings, and this Thursday evening's not no different. I was gonna try to push through and get those mounts done, and my original hope was I could bang all that out in 2 days, and tomorrow would be a second channel video day for me, but that ain't gonna happen. Even if I got those upper pieces of the mount built, everything has to come back apart so I can weld up some stuff, finish drilling some holes, or you know, whatever, make stuff a little more El Permanente. So I'm gonna have to do that tomorrow. So since I got a full day on this once again, I'm gonna go ahead and close her down for the day. She kind of been whooping on me. Not so much, really. This stuff's just kind of tedious, you know, but we're getting it. We're getting it. Morning. Last push on this today. Guys, these came in yesterday. Our Please Start keychains available now on the website. Usually I do a really big March push. These were just going to restock, so I'm just letting you know. And if you've ever driven one of these old jalopies, you get this keychain. Ain't nothing like crawling up in that hoopty, especially if you got your woman or child with you and just going, please start, hitting that key. I got our mount in place. That's fully assembled. Of course, down low and up top, there would be a washer as well. So off of there, 3 inch wide looks fine. We'll have a little overhang this way, no big deal. Now width-wise, each side might be a little different. I'm gonna say we go, yeah, that 3.5 looks pretty good. I mean, I guess we could go 3 inches as well. 3 by 3 it is. Please start. Out. It's when you say please start and then it don't start. But then you shake that key just right. And shake that key and that old jalopy fires up. Well, I don't know if there's a better feeling. So that's gonna sit about like so. And then we want some gusset. That's what we gotta measure. 3 inches worth, 3.5. Let's get crazy. So this piece should overhang a 1/4 inch each side. About there. And then we need a mark there because we ain't leaving that jagged edge hanging out there. We can probably round the corner and round the corner. And then we know we can just kick down at a 45-degree angle, nothing's in our way. Other than that, we need to find center and mark from the back side out 1 inch and 11/16, maybe 1 inch and 5/8. And that, my friends, is all the info we know or need to know to finish this set. It'll make her look a little more professional. We'll go ahead and measure out. That one mark was 1 inch and 1/16. So we'll do 1 inch and 1/16. We'll connect the dots, huh? You look around enough around here, you're guaranteed to find a washer somewhere. So we can take that washer or rounded corners if we want them to match and look real nice. Sometimes I'll kind of just fire from the hip on rounded corners. If it's something you can't really see, I can get them pretty close by eyeball. But sometimes just having those rounded corner helps. And we got a mark center. This is the back. So we mark at 1.5 inches. And then we said 1 inch and 5/8 to 11/16. So I'm gonna just split the difference right between them. Actually, we'll favor the back side because if we need to, we can take this off just a hair forward. Old B's still in here, huh? You ever see B get stung? Come on down, see what happens. I'll send you back to your honeycomb crying. Mama, that mean man in the neon shirt hit me. He hit me on the head. All flying creatures can get these hands. They're rated E for everybody. Big or small, I'll whoop them all. Actually, I don't like 45. That's kicking out too far. Looks like I still set it at a perfect 45. Try again. I like that better. Woo, lucky number 77. Or $1.13. Oh, I didn't need that shoulder. Damn Dumbo with your big ears flopping out there. Weld her up. Over here, we pretty well repeat the process, a little different, because we ain't got to cut as much as the corner off. Looky there, clean up our sheet metal. She's ready to tack. We must have a bad tip or something going on, because she ain't welding for deadly. Hey, Ma, Puddin's got a dirty tip. Whoop! Gotta keep your tip in good shape, guys, for your welding. You don't want it doing that spit and sputter and baloney bull crap that it was just doing. Did you hear that? Hear how much happier it was? Now I know it's kind of crazy to build these mounts up here, but it just makes sense since everything's so compact up in here, guys. I mean, she's really stub-nosed. Y'all know we cut that frame right out the gearbox. I mean, the front of this thing's just lacking any room. So it may seem goofy to have that back here, but they don't look bad right there. They're gonna look nice welded in. And now we've got support on both sides. I'm pretty happy with how everything's shaping up here. It looks like we got plenty of room to and if you don't speak mechanic, that means hook up our coolant hoses. See, I just know it is. All right, get all the ratchet straps off, guys. I think we've done it. We've successfully got it all into place. Looking like we may have room for a mechanical fan as well. Hot diggity doggy. All we gotta do is simply take everything apart, because there is some stuff that needs welded. Don't worry. Eventually, I'm gonna figure out how this comes apart. Maybe, there we go. It's very easy. It's as simple as move your bolt remove your bottom, take your bottom off, and then pick up on this, shimmy that, mount is out. Hey, look at all that fabricating we had done. Now, like I said, these are kind of ugly, but it's okay. We're going to weld that, and the radiator kind of hides that, so that's why I was okay with that. Now, if that was out in the open, we'd never do nothing like that. But it ain't out in the open, is it? Shoo! Stacking dimes in all the tight places. That's what I do, baby. That's what I call my P-Tang. Gotta have all them pretty welds hid in there. So weld. I got our sheet metal all welded up, this whole piece. But as far as our mounts down here and on our chassis side, well, they're a little hard to squeeze too. So I'm gonna wait to weld them up until we separate the body from the chassis again. It'll just give me a lot more room. We can put nicer looking stuff on there. That'll let us get to that bracket in there from the bottom as well to weld it up. But that's solid. So next I gotta do a hardware run. Put that down in my little hidey hole. More important than some bolts. I called Taco Boy. I said, give me a few crunchy tacos. Look what he sent me with. Golly. A Chihuahua. People ask me, hey Puddin', what do you get at Taco Boy? Everything. You can't get anything bad. I call Leo and I say, hey, what's good today? And he just says, I got you, boss. And he puts it in the thing and I just eat it. Golly. I'm glad he threw those tamales in. Those are perfect. I was trying to make custom fender washers and I just realized that ain't really bigger than a regular old washer. Start with that, but we may have to size up. Don't worry, we've got options. We are going to start going back together. First things first, we got to take those chunks off the bottom of the radiator. Old carbide does a good job eating away that aluminum, but she'll get packed with all that aluminum too. I know some people use bar soap to help it from gumming up. I don't have none. But what I did just try was some regular old oil, 10W30, and that seemed to work really good. Cut that down smaller. I didn't mean to take that pin out, but it all came out now. No more bump to hold us up. It's raining drill bits. Golly. Those are chunks of mud flap. I've had that mud flap for like 5, 6, 7 years now. It's great for building little bushings or isolators if you need them to be durable. We could throw some grommets up here, but grommets and crap like that, they break down in a year. These aren't ever gonna break down. These are gonna go right here. Our bottom washer I had to customize where I can slip in the bottom. Slippity-doo-dah, slippity-day. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. Puddin'. Swap these for new bolts with bigger washers, and those work good, but almost too good. Cut a thinner part of our mud flap and swapped it in instead of that thick one. Boom! Able to clamp down both sides perfect. That's right there what she needs. No more little bouncing around down there. No, nailed it. This hood's a little easier with a helping hand, I can tell y'all that. I can just slide a piece of poster board in there, but I gotta wiggle it in there, guys. So I do think it'll rub just a hair probably going down the road. I don't know if it'll ever be enough to be a problem. Like I said, we'll just have to keep an eye on it. Give her a little look-see every once in a while. Ooh, we gotta be careful on this one, so I'm just gonna mark it for now.
Oh, because something's right behind it.
Yeah, aluminum radiator's right behind it. Oh, we'll want to back it. Guys, look at my gappage. So I put those couple self-tappers in there. Those gaps look better than they have the entire time. I mean, that front end's looking so good. Good even gaps. So we already got a hole there. I marked that one. I drilled some at the bottom. We'll pull this back off and put some nut certs in this baby. How long will riv nuts hold on a grill going down the road? Time will tell. I got us 4 so far. The ones I drilled down here, that one would work. This one's a little close. Down here, we didn't have room for the riv nut, but luckily down there with that room, it's real easy just to put a regular nut on it. So that's what we'll do on the bottom. Not as fast as a riv nut, but it's not like it's hard to do neither. Boom, she's latched. Our gaps look amazing, guys, compared to what they did before. I think we did good of getting her all equaled out. It's hard to see because of where it's at in the shop or whatever. But guys, we got some good solid front end work going on. It's pretty stinking cool that we got all that tucked in there. When you're good, baby. Looks nice too, little black paint. She's gonna look mighty, mighty fine. Besides that, everything's now easy to work on. Some build's pretty cool that with an extra set of hands, we could pull the whole butterfly hood at once. Then it's those 2 bolts, boom, radiator's ready to come out. Of course, that'll change once we get shroud and fan and everything. But the point is, we build everything in a way where it's always serviceable or easy to work on in the future. Hopefully we never have to, but if we do, it'll be easy to do. Everything looks pretty stinking good, all except seeing that stuff up in there. When we do it, make it to the point of cleaning everything up and painting. Everything behind that grill's going flat black on the coolers. Of course, all the chassis stuff will be like a satin black, and all that's going to help that disappear. Good news is everything fit. Now we just got to look for the future, looking to adding a bumper on there somehow. She needs a bumper. Everything's sitting really nice though. Looks better than it ever has. Next, you want to lube up your tires. And we need to be able to turn this thing some. Last couple of times y'all see me work on this, it's been in here at this spot. Guys, I want to see it outside. Seeing it outside just refreshes you, motivates you. It's good for y'all, it's good for me. Feel good? You like her, Billy?
Hell yeah.
Golly, this thing looks good out of the shop. Hitting that bump let that front kind of settle down where it needed to be too. Good thing we got helper bags. Do, 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 do. That's all she gets. A whole lot, huh, Bill? Not hardly. Oh no, quite a bit actually. We went from tucking pert near all the tire to none of it. Of course, you couldn't drive right there. Oh, actually.
Actually, you could.
You could. I figured that'd be rock solid. You wouldn't want to. There we go. If we ain't got a load on, with her down all the way, now that her front end mounted, I can actually push on the sheet metal. Oh yeah, she's gonna be so good. And that thing is hammered. Are you eyeballing? Just the whole thing?
Yeah, when you had it up a little bit, it matched like how much tire shows back there. If you
it was tucking the same amount. Yeah, probably take a little bit of rake out of it too. That front end is sitting pretty low.
That little bit of rake to it.
Yeah.
Remember the concrete sloping off too, real bad.
Yeah, so if y'all's looking like that, you need to look like that. Don't look like that, look like that. So before we wrap up, I'm gonna show y'all why it's important to get something out of the shop. In there, feeling tucked in that front, it's kind of hard to see some things. But once we got it out here immediately, and I seen these bigger gaps between our hood and our fender, and this was kind of tucked way back here. And I told Bill, it almost looks like that whole front end is sagging. Well, y'all can see what's missing. We pulled those bolts and I picked that whole front end up, just that thickness, and that helped. And I don't think it can take much more than that, because that's what it was about, mine and Bill's limit on picking stuff up to be able to get that. So what's that mean? That means that whole time that whole front end could be up. So that actually took our radiator up out of the bottom mounts. So now the top of the radiator mounts, those need drop down, which obviously sucks because they're already welded. But to redo all that is just gonna be pulling that out, cutting those little tabs down a little bit, welding on some new ones. It ain't that big of a deal. Someone's getting Theo wound up.
Give me that whisker. I got it.
So you can see we picked it up enough that we actually popped out of our mounts, which ain't good. So we were looking at the orange one, and the hood to the fender fits really tight, and we're like, well, that's weird. But if you look at the orange one, the gap that's then around here is just terrible, guys, just awful. So we could loosen our hood bolts and we could shift our hood forward and then out, and that's gonna let it go forward and down like that one is, but then we're gonna have a terrible gap up there. So all that, I believe, is adjustable in those hood hinges. We just got to decide where do we want the bad gap, because you can't have it all. Do we like the gap looking really good up here where it does, with a little bit bigger one there, because why would that bother you? Or do you want to take the whole thing forward and set it down, and then up there just looks terrible? And boy, do I mean terrible. About a whole knuckle's worth. But you get a tight fit down here. I don't know, where do y'all like the bad gap at? I actually like this one better. The little bit bigger gap on the side don't bother me. I mean, in theory, we could extend those hood sides. Boy, that'd be a lot of work. Let's not do that. I never even said that. So we're gonna wrap up right there, guys. This gap's a little bit bigger on this side, as you can see. Different fender on this side. We replaced it. I think that's playing a little bit of a factor over here. But overall, even though there's a couple things we're going to have to address, just cutting some spacers for those front mounts, no big deal. And then dropping that radiator down the inch that we space it up, again, no big deal. I'm very happy with our progress. We managed to fit all that stuff up front, and I've really thought it was going to be very hard to get it all in there. So we're going to take that as a win. Today for me is Halloween. I've realized by the time this video goes out for y'all, it's going to be way past. But happy Halloween, even though it's late. And I hope you have a good time with your kiddos. For me, that's what Halloween is about, them kids. And much other than that, guys, we're going to conclude right here. So thank y'all so much for being here at the Puddins Fab Shop. I hope y'all's excited with the Loadstar. This thing's just turning out. I don't know. It's just, I was telling Bill how crazy it is, because I've had old Will Hop's body for so long. And it's just so cool to finally see it coming together as an actual truck. Obviously, we got a little more fab work to go. She still needs floors, exhaust, a little bit on the back, not a lot. But we still got to decide on boxes, where to mount air ride stuff. I need to fabricate a front bumper for it. So we're getting closer, but there's still work to go. Thank y'all for being here at the Puddins Fab Shop. You can get some of our good quality merchandise at puddins.fab.shop.com. Much other than that, guys, we're on the Instagram or the Facebook or in the Patreon, blah, blah, blah. And I will see you on the next one. However, do not forget, sitting on your ass will not finish your project.